when I think about the Ministry of Darkness, for some reason, a person that pops in my head that, of course, wasn't part of it is Kevin Sullivan, and I was like, man,
absolutely.
Could I don't know if he was with WWE at that time or any of that stuff, but I mean, I feel like
I don't think he was ever.
No, yeah, I don't
with
think
us.
But Kevin, I feel like probably could have, if he would have.
Yeah, I mean that would have been right up his alley.
Oh yeah,
but
I feel like he probably could have added some elements to it in the sense of like for that storytelling too, just backstage of what direction to go in and stuff.
Yeah. It would have been he would have been a good mind to pick for sure.
Yeah, because I think he was living that type of character
for real, right?
for quite a long time. All right, so this next one is from Eddie Burton. Mark, firstly, just wanted to say thank you for all you've done for the business of pro wrestling. So my question is, prior to the pandemic and the match with AJ Styles turning into a cinematic match, did you agree to the match expecting Styles to be your final opponent even before the pandemic, or did you think that you would have other opponents after AJ, and if so, did you have anyone in mind?
That's a good question. So when I decided when I decided to have the match with AJ, so it was initially it come together right before COVID, and like I wasn't sure at that point. I mean, it was like year to year. I never really knew. People give me grief all the time about how many times I retired, and I didn't. I mean, I put my gear in the ring after I lost to Roman, which was, that was about as pure a moment that you can have. Like I was done there. I didn't say it, but I mean, the imagery, it says, hey, okay, he's put his hat and his gloves and everything. He's done. And then when I retired, when at 30, that was the only two times that you can really. So I didn't know like from year to year, like what I had left. So I start training to answer the question. So I start training for Mania for AJ, and really got off. Man, my camp got off to a great start. I mean, I was feeling really, really good. I felt strong. Cardio came to me really, really quickly. I was way ahead of the game as far as preparing where I was normally, or I had been the last few years. I was just, I was in a really good spot.
Yeah.
And then when we go to Florida, we do a couple weeks in Florida at the in-laws every year, and COVID hits, and they shut down everything, right? So we're stuck. We're in Florida. All the gyms are closed. Everything shuts down. Like I've got like a 45-pound kettlebell, and the beach is all I got, right? And so like my training it just went right off the cliff. And so we end up getting to the match, and it was a cinematic match. When I felt so good, to get back to the original part of the question, when I started training, when I went in, when I started preparing for it, and I felt really good, I was like, well, crap, man, maybe there's more left in the tank than I thought there was. So, all bets were off at that point. So we get to the boneyard match, and we had 7 or 8 different cameras, we had drone, all these different things. So because we were having to relight and do different camera angles and different shots on different things, and it was about I want to say it's about 3 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning, and we were we were getting ready for the last shot we were going to do. And I'm standing there, and I realized like I was standing, but I was standing. My legs were both like I was in a crouch position. At what I was doing, I was trying to take the pressure off of my knees and my back and everything else. Like everything was just locked. It was just locking up. I mean, it was getting worse and worse. And it was at that moment that I said, "This is it.
Yeah.
You know, this is there is no more after that. This is the last thing that I'm doing." And you know, that it just hit me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was the clarity of like, it wasn't in my heart, it wasn't in my mind, and my heart, it wasn't clear, but
Your body was
my
telling
body was telling me that, you know, you've got everything out of this that you can get. It's time to walk away, and while you can still do that. And so yeah, at that moment, that's when I was like, shit, I'm done, man.
Was there ever a thought going into that AJ match, like was there a thought process of what your next match was going to be after AJ? Were you thinking ahead at all?
No, I wasn't thinking ahead. Only thing I was thinking is like, you know, there may be more gas in the tank for some other opponents, but I didn't have anybody in mind. I was completely focused on AJ and you know what I was going to have to, the shape that I thought that I was going to have to be in to have the match that I wanted to have with him, which would have been initially in a wrestling ring. So I mean, that was my whole focus was on that.
Another outside of the box question here that I think is pretty good from Gunner Squires. My question is in regard to one of my favorite sequences of moves from you: Snake Eyes followed by the Big Boot.
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes, when you brought this out against an opponent, it meant you were about to turn things up a notch. So my question is, when and where did you learn the Snake Eyes Big Boot combination? Had you seen it used before by other big men in the business? Was it suggested to you by a mentor, or was it something you came up with on your own? Thank you for taking questions. It's a dream come true to hear your stories and perspective on such an amazing life and career. From Gunner Squires.
I'm trying to remember where I saw Snake Eyes. Someone else did Snake Eyes, and I liked it. It was usually Snake Eyes came in my comeback. Snake Eyes, the high boot, leg drop, cover, kick out, go for the choke slam or give the choke slam. All that I just put together through time and kind of trial and error. It all flowed. I like for it to everything to flow and make sense, and each move kind of set up the next one.
Yeah.
So that
Told a story.
It told a story. Yeah. So I don't know where I got Snake Eyes from. But someone else did Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
But the rest of it were just, I put all that together just because I like how it flowed. It was, you know, it was a bang, bang, bang kind of a deal that ended up usually setting up the choke slam or cutting me off out of it, whatever it took, whatever it needed to be.
Maybe that's our next moves shirt.
Snake Eyes,
Big Boot, leg drop,
choke slam.
Hell's Gate, maybe, or something like that.
Hell's Gate. Yeah.
Good.
There's something there with Hell's Gate.
Yeah.
I think like every time I come in the studio with you, it's like opening Hell's Gate. I like that.
Well, thank God.
Note to self.
Thank God you have Jesus in your heart, so you'll never have to see Hell's Gate.
Wow,
see how
that's
nice
strong.
To
That was
deep.
powerful. That was deep, man.
On a lighter note, how about that?
All right.
From Renee Meredith. Hi, Matt. Hi, Mark. I asked this question at the One Dead Man show before, but I thought it would be fun for everyone to have the answer, so I hope you choose this one. what did you think of the casting of the Undertaker on the Young Rock show? And follow up, based on that casting, who would you cast to play The Rock if the roles were reversed? David Neal to play The Rock.
No, after the casting of, you know what made me? It wasn't so much, but the casting. I mean, it's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
It was a comedy, so there has to be some elements of, I guess, the casting of some comedic light. All right. What pissed me off about the whole damn thing was my hat.
I haven't seen it. So
It was the hat really pissed me off. I didn't like the hat. Like the hat they gave me. It looked like some kind of just black clown hat. So because I didn't like the hat, I would, if it was Young Taker and I had to cast The Rock, I mean, I don't know, maybe Urkel or somebody. No.
you know who hates the Godfather, man? He's like when they cast it for the Nation of Domination.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember.
And he
seeing
goes, "Man, this is the worst casting ever." Because they got this jabroni out there saying he's the Godfather. Look at that, ain't Godfather.
He got hot, huh?
Yes, he's posted it multiple times on social media.
That's funny. I didn't know that. Actually, that's funny. I'm gonna give him some.
He's like, "Man, this don't look like me at all, man."
Oh, that's some fuel.
He's
I
like,
needed
"The Rock
right
done pissed me off now."
I'm pretty sure that Rock didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't do the casting, but that's funny.